when I was in my 30s, early 30s, and started a mission to really seek out a God that I thought existed but wasn't sure what that God was, or I kind of had a feeling that the philosophy that I was raised in was not feeding me the way I wanted to be fed. And really what I was missing was that I didn't see or feel joy in the philosophy that I was raised in. Everybody just seemed to be tight, and there was a lot of guilt, and there was always seemed to be suffering, and people were just, it's almost like they were martyrs all the time, and I'm just waiting for God to give me what I need, and let's just pray, and if things are hard, then that's God's will for you right now. And everything was just heavy and dark, it seemed. And I thought, just like that reading from Charles and Cora Fillmore, that God is a God of joy, and I'm going to find him. I don't know where him is, but him is out there somewhere, and I'm going to find him. Because things just didn't feel right to me. I just felt out of sorts. I kept wondering, why isn't anybody joyful? And it didn't matter, it seemed, when I started to look, and I went everywhere. I went to non-denominational churches. I sought out in every denomination. There were no holds barred for me. I just went everywhere because I'm just looking, that God's got to be out there somewhere. I'm looking, I know it's there, I know it's there, I know it's there. And so if I got to another one and I thought, oh, God, no joyful people here either. I got to go. I got to go. And I would go somewhere else. And there were a couple of places where I would hang around for a bit, and it would, you kind of sort of feeling something different other than the darkness and heaviness that I felt. But then that wasn't ringing true. It just felt like there was this facade. But underneath it all, there was darkness and a heaviness. So I just kept looking and kept looking and kept looking. And it wasn't until I received this magazine at home called Abundance and read through it. And I didn't order it. It came to my house. And it's probably just because I was seeking that something came in my mail through divine providence. And I read it and I thought, I might be close. I might be close. And there was the Association of Unity Churches was on the back of that magazine, and I found out that there was a Unity Church 15 minutes from my house, and I went there, and the first day I thought, there's some happy people here. These folks are hugging and saying hello, and there's laughter, and so I stuck, and it was good, and I knew that it was home, and I still didn't quite know what that God of joy was, but I felt it in the room. I felt it in the room. So I went home, and I told Quentin, it's there. I think I found it. And he had already, just like me, had just kind of sworn off organized religion and church, and we don't want to go and do that heavy, guilt-laden stuff anymore. We're not doing that, and I don't want to feel the crack of the whip of hellfire and damnation and all that. We don't want to do that. And I said, but this is different. You got to go. This place is different. Come on, let's go. And the next Sunday he went, and we were just both all in. And it was through really Unity's principles, that I found the beginnings of joy. Mainly because, like that reading that Nancy did, I started to go deep. It wasn't that I was still accepting this philosophy that was given me, and I had no experience of it, and so there was nothing resonating. There was nothing making me feel anything other than darkness and heaviness. And yes, I did have some experience of God, but like I said, there was no joy. and I wanted joy. And I was convinced there was a God of joy somewhere. And through the deep work, through the constant daily meditation and being in prayer and working with affirmation and looking at my life on a deep level and knowing that my life is integral to this whole process of finding joy. That if there is joy in the world, it's going to come from me, not given to me by some outside force or entity or philosophy, that I had to find it within the wellspring that is me. First of all, I had to discover that there was a wellspring that is me. Because previous to that, I just knew Kim as sinner and fallen person who needs to be saved. And there's no joy in that. None. None. And it wasn't until I started to learn, so I was hearing that you are loved, just like I was saying in the opening prayer and meditation, that we are loved and that we are this divine spark. When I heard that started to bubble up some joy within me. So that's a whole different way to look at oneself. And through that constant willingness to explore that as me, I found joy. Because I stopped looking at all the things that I was told was wrong with me and all the things that I had to overcome that were parts of me. And I started to let all that go and fall off of me and focus only on this divine love thing. And I did it relentlessly because people kept walking around. I kept seeing these happy people, and they were all talking about this stuff, and they were all in prayer and meditation, and I'm listening to readings, and I'm thinking, well, maybe that's why all these people are looking like this, acting like this. Maybe, I don't know. And I just thought, I'm trying it. I'm going there. And I kept going there until I found it, until that wellspring that they were talking about, this inner beingness of me, when I started to experience that as goodness. And joy was a byproduct of that. But first, I had to get to me as goodness. And that was it was a long journey. Now, it wasn't 30 years journey, but then I'd never meditated. I'd never sat with myself and explored who this is. I'd never done that. And I wasn't told to do that because everything that was good was not me. And so why would I go within? Why would I? Because I was taught that this thing that I am probably can't be trusted on some level. And so don't go there. Just focus on the God out there who's going to make me feel better if I'm doing the right things, saying the right things, reading the right things, sacrificing in the right ways. And then I started to hear there's nothing for you to do. There's nothing for you to earn. There's nothing for you to be worthy of. You are goodness. You always were. You are love. You always were. Period. Period. In fact, you don't have to read any books. Yeah, there are good books to read to help you learn some things, but the work now is for you to go within and find that and experience that. Nobody can give it to you. And if you take it from somebody, it's temporary. If you find it from something else, it's always temporary. It'll always fade away until you go within and until you do this work and find and experience that divine spark for yourself. And sit there long enough with your stuff and let the stuff that you've carried, all that baggage, let it flow out of you, vent it out, cry it out, talk it out, whatever it is you need to do, let it go, let it swim off of you like water off a duck's back. Just let it go. You don't have to look at it. You don't have to digest it. You don't have to know where it comes from. Sit with it long enough to let it dissipate and let the real stuff, the essence of you, bubble up. Once you've unearthed it, you've dug away the crust of stuff that's grown over the light that is there. And let that come up from within you. And let yourself sit in that moment where all of a sudden, I talk about this often, where all of a sudden you'll sit there and you'll go, oh, yeah. Yeah. This. Those things that make you stop and the tears start to well up. Those moments, the things that make you catch your breath. You're in a moment, you hear a song, or you're doing a reading or something like that, and all of a sudden you go, oh, why'd that hit me like that? Because there's something within you that's saying, that's you, that good thing you feel, that thing that's bringing up the goosebumps on your arms, the thing that's catching your breath, the thing that makes you blissful in a moment, that's you. That's you. That's you. Be that thing. Let it well up. Do more of what you just did so it can continue to overflow within you and out of you. And it's inexhaustible. So the more joy that you feel and the more joy that radiates out of it, the more of it that will come up. Because now, 30-some years later, I have more joy than I've ever had in my life. I was just in here practicing that song earlier, and at some point had to stop singing because the joy just welled up again, because those words, those lyrics mean something to me now. I feel them here. And so at some point, I can't sing with this voice, the one that you hear with your ears, because something is singing inside of me saying, yeah, Kim, you know that's what you are. And 30 years later, I'm still going, yes. That joy, that's what I was seeking. It wasn't in any of those churches or centers I went to. It was here, all the time, waiting for me, waiting for me. To feel it and claim it. Because you can feel it, but the next step is claiming it. And saying, this is me. This is me. This joy that is God is me. We are so not just in the image and likeness of God. We are that expression of the divine. We are the wave in the ocean, expressing all of that. We are that. But the work is ours. You got to dig deep to find it. You got to get beneath all the stuff that's piled up on top of it, all that baggage, all those layers of things that we have claimed that somebody said was us. And we held on to it and said, well, that must be true because so-and-so said it, or I read it somewhere, or I heard it somewhere, so that must be true. Instead of trusting what is within us. Instead of trusting this thing that we feel in our gut, or this thing that makes us catch our breath, where we have no more words Because all we do is feel God moving through us and as us. I don't think a day goes by where I don't have inexpressible joy and the tears just well up again and I'm caught again. And the feeling is always exhilarating, always in that moment. Exhilarating and humbling at the same time, which seems like it shouldn't go together, but it does for me. So there's no conceit in it, like we talked about before when we claim our divinity. It's not a thing of hubris where you're walking around saying, I'm God, I'm God. God, people, recognize it. Know that. No, I am God. Kiss the ring, kiss the ring. Like I said, it is so not that. It's that feeling when you say, oof, this is God right here. This is God right here, right here, right here. Humbling and exhilarating at the same time. Man, when you know that, yeah. But you got to do the work. The tools, prayer and meditation. Know that God is in all things. Last week we talked about evil. And that there's an expression of it, but there's no evil being running around, the little red devil with the horns and the tail with the pointed thing at the end. There's no such being. That God is in and through all things, that it is all God. But sometimes we express outside or out of alignment with our true essence. Joy is the same way. Joy is always there. The sun's always shining, even though there's clouds and there's a storm. The sun's always shining. There's always light. So like our affirmation, doesn't matter what the circumstances are, I'm still whole and complete. I am still one with the all there is. I'm still that same force that created the heavens and the earth. That is me. I'm still divine love. I am life. I am wisdom. I am goodness. So this is from the Book of Joy by the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu with Douglas Abrams. One great question underlies our existence. The Dalai Lama had said before the trip, what is the purpose of life? After much consideration, I believe that the purpose of life is to find happiness. It does not matter whether one is a Buddhist like me or a Christian like the Archbishop or any other religion or no religion at all. From the moment of birth, every human being wants to discover happiness and avoid suffering. No differences in our culture or our education or our religion affect this. From the very core of our being, we simply desire joy and contentment. But so often these feelings are fleeting and hard to find, like a butterfly that lands on us and then flutters away. The ultimate source of happiness is within us. Not money, not power, not status. Some of my friends are billionaires, but they are very unhappy people. Power and money fail to bring inner peace. Outward attainment will not bring real inner joyfulness. We must look inside. Sadly, many of the things that undermine our joy and happiness, we create ourselves. Often it comes from the negative tendencies of the mind, emotional reactivity, or from our inability to appreciate and utilize the resources that exist within us. The suffering from a natural disaster we cannot control, but the suffering from our daily disasters we can. We create most of our suffering, so it should be logical that we also have the ability to create more joy. It simply depends on the attitudes, the perspectives, and the reactions we bring to situations and to our relationships with other people. When it comes to personal happiness, there is a lot that we as individuals can do. So if you don't have joy, it's probably because you're not doing the work. It's waiting for you to discover. It's waiting for you. Right there. It was there before all time. And then we got into this physical existence, and we let stuff pile on top of it. And all we have to do is brush it away. Wax on, wax off. All we have to do is brush it away and let your natural essence bubble up and out. And be that every day as often as you can. And every single time you feel it, say thank you. Thank you for reminding me who and what I am. And I'm looking for more. Bring me to the things that will bring me more. More joy. I come that you might have life and have it to the full. And I believe that's joy. To have life to the full. Not halfway, not eking by. So many of us are just eking by. Again, taking crumbs. That's what I learned growing up, taking crumbs, being thankful for the crumbs. Thank you, Jesus, for the crumbs. What I think God wants is for us to just open our arms wide and let it overflow in. So there's more than your two arms can hold. Your physical arms and your metaphorical arms. Just let it overflow. Joy and more joy. I was looking up, I love the roots of words. So the root of the word joy comes from a Latin word meaning to be glad. To be glad. It's a state of beingness. To be that. They always say that what you're seeking is within you. It's already there. You just have to find it. You just have to find it. So I invite you to look for joy. But here, within you. I see it within you. You need to see it within you. Let's take this into meditation. So take a deep breath. When's the last time you had something catch your breath, stop you in your tracks, flood goosebumps all over you? What was happening in that moment? And how can you experience more of those moments? Are you looking for joy outside of you? Are you counting on it in your relationships, in your work, in your bank balance? Are you always looking to others to be the source of your joy? Or is it welling up within you? Are you willing to unearth that which is waiting for you? How many times in the last few days have you said, I'm living my best life ever? more joy, more love than I've ever had before. Or are you barely eking by? Grateful for crumbs. Grateful for somebody else to make your day. Or is your day already made when you open your eyes? And you have this overwhelming feeling of gratitude for life, for another day to be alive. What brings tears of joy to your eyes? And are those very things coming up from within you? Are you doing the work? Are you digging deep? Giving yourself in the stillness of life, in the silence, to experience your own wellspring of joy. And if not, what must you let go of? If you're grasping at crumbs, are you willing to open your fist and turn your hands up, ready to receive? Are you ready to open your arms wide and let goodness overflow into your life, into your spirit? Are you ready to open your heart and feel the divinity that is you speak to you? Remind you of who and what you are. Are you willing to stop running, stop distracting, so that you can let all that you are not dissipate and become acquainted with your true essence of love and joy and peace? What must you let go of? So let's take a deep breath together. Breathe in. And as you exhale, ask, what must I let go of? What must I release? Give me clarity of mind so I know what must I release, so that I may have more joy, more love, more peace, more God in my experience. Let's breathe in again. Exhale and release. What must I let go of? I'm willing to let go, be willing to let go of all that was out of alignment with your divine self. So we give thanks for clarity about all that must be released. We say yes and thank you for that clarity, for for the power to release that which does not serve us, and the power to decree and declare all the goodness that we would love to have in our lives. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.